in the tree, Glasgow City coat of arms. So Marty, we have some visitors coming down. This is 21. Someone has pressed the button, maybe downstairs. 21, the bus station upper left. Thank you for joining. And your ticket will get you a discount. Designed by Bertie Crew. At various times in the year, they have different tribute acts. Some of the acts are advertised outside the attraction just now beneath. You'll see who's going to be in there. And of course, it's become something of a Scottish institution inside over the many years that it has been here for Scottish entertainment. So many tribute acts will be in here soon performing. You'll see some of the names listed. On the right above, believe it or not, this is the tallest cinema in the world now, it claims to be. It must have beaten possibly one in Japan, but it's now claimed to be the tallest cinema in the world. Cineworld Glasgow. Now down to the right, I shall backtrack for our new visitors. A lot of the street names of Glasgow are named after tobacco merchants, royalty, inventors, or after very successful dignitaries. This street down to the right here is named after the Battle of the Nile, when the British fought during the Napoleonic Wars. So that's the significance of the street name. West Nile Street, named after the Battle of the Nile, when the British fought during the Napoleonic Wars. On the left, Le Bon Auberge is a French restaurant. Last week some visitors were in, said it was wonderful. So you might want to pop in and look at the menu and see what you think. However, everyone's number one to George Square, the beginning of where the bus starts from. And remember, the last bus departs George Square at 4:30 in the evening. 4:30 is the last departing tour bus from George Square. So we're now heading back down to stop 1. If you have just joined us, you can relax. We sit for 15 minutes, yeah, Marty? Yeah, so 15 minutes the bus will sit for. And then we begin again from the street names are named after individuals, inventors, royalty, etc. Straight ahead at the bottom of the hill is George Square, everyone. It was laid out in the reign of King George III from 1782. However, you will never find a statue to poor King George III on the square. For when he lost the American colonies, Glasgow almost became a financial ruin. Instead, in the centre of the building, I'll tell you more about it later. This is us back at Scotland. Have a great time, if you want to. Glasgow is the largest city in Scotland, with over 500,000 citizens from the last census count. On the right here, Strathclyde University was founded by a man who was soon to become a successful professor of philosophy and of a few other subjects where he lived. Down to the right here, Montrose Street, is where the remains of the old archways are of the maternity hospital Rotten Row. Now the name Rotten Row means the pig's way from an ancient French language. Straight ahead, the spire coming into view now straight ahead of Glasgow Cathedral. Glasgow Cathedral in front of us is the oldest mainland church in Scotland. Stood at one time in history on the right. The old Duke Street prison stood here on the right before these high-rise apartments were ever here. And 12 executions took place at the old Duke Street prison. One was of a woman by the name of Susan Newell, who was claimed to have been the last woman in Scotland to have been hanged for the murder of a paper boy in Fort Bridge. Behind us, the year was November 1891. Buffalo Bill came to Denniston behind us as part of his World Wide West show. The Lakota Sioux Red Indian Nation members were present. And bars. 4 is your next stop for the second-hand youth venue, the Barras. If anyone wants to go to the second-hand youth venue, the Barras, hit the button on the yellow pole now. Straight ahead here, this is the Tallbooth steeple ahead. Now the bells at the top level of the Tallbooth steeple are claimed to be rung in honour to Cameron of Lochiel. He advised Bonnie Prince Charlie not to burn Glasgow down from 1745-46. As back in the day, Bonnie Prince Charlie was demanding shoes and spades, meaning laid to the gallows, where in medieval times where you were dragged to a wooden gate to execution to be hanged for your crime. Ahead of us, the mural of the big hymn, Willie Conley's mural ahead, Scottish comedian, actor, musician, his mural on the left. Now down to the right beneath us, the stripes on the pathway down to your right represent all the rock and indie bands who performed inside the Barrowland Ballroom from the early 90s up to the present. The ceiling inside the Barrowland Ballroom is a dome of stars inside. Hit the button now if you wish to alight for the bar. On the left here, way back in the 19th century, which was the 1800s period of time, on the left, the Glasgow Fair was celebrated. Every second Monday in July, the holiday called Glasgow Fair was celebrated here in 19th century. Monks were selling on the left here in 1800s freshly brewed beer. The building at the front was the former home to William Cunningham, a ruthless tobacco merchant. As we turn on the left here for a photo, goes straight ahead actually, is the Duke of Wellington. The Duke of Wellington statue upon his horse Copenhagen. Now sadly, he's blocked up the traffic. We are now continuing on to number 10 on the map for more hotels. So 10 is for the Hilton Garden Inn, for the Radisson Red Hotel, and for the Cranside Bar and Restaurant. Relax at the moment everyone, we'll get there soon. Above everyone, the Kingston Bridge. It was opened in the 1970s, this bridge, by the Queen Mother, and it was modelled on a highway bridge from the United States of America and cuts through the city centre heart of Glasgow like a main artery as such, the Kingston Bridge. The most prestigious vessels for which you could ever imagine on the planet. The QE2, the Queen Mary, the Royal Yacht Britannia were all hailed on the flights. And to your left, the Clyde, that's the Rotunda building. This is number 10, we're on a couple coming down. Just take your time, have a great time. The weather's getting hot now. So Colin, there's a couple coming down from upstairs. Have a great day. Now back in the day, that crane above you on the left would lift up 175 tonne maximum load from steam locomotive engines to tram cars, which would have later been lowered onto the ships for exportation around the globe. Clyde built stood for quality. Like I say, they built over 400,000 tonnage of ships every year on Clyde. This is number 11 for the conference centres, and on the right the concert venue, the Urbo Hydro. And this is for the Science Centre. Does any visitors want to go to the Science Centre? You pay to get into the attraction. It's across the Bell's Footbridge on the left, the Science Centre. On the left here, the Clyde Auditorium, designed in the shape of the upside down hulls of the ships built on the Clyde, designed by Lord Norman Foster. And to your left behind, the SEC Centre, where the Christmas Ironbrew Carnival events are held within, and lots more. On the left now, this is the Ovo Hydro, and it holds a capacity inside of approximately 13,000 people. It has wonderful acoustics within the attraction. But did you know, ladies and gents, and not many people do know this, NASA, and you all heard correctly, NASA from the United States of America were claimed to have been commissioned to produce a tiny metal element for the exterior behind the huge metal grids in the building on the left. And it might well be something to do with the lighting effect at night time. For sure, it really does resemble a UFO at night. When the colours change on the exterior of the building at night, it really does resemble one at night. It's amazing to view at night. 13,000 criminal records. The police in 1908 blamed him, and they were going to hang him initially for the crime he did not commit of marrying Gilchrist. Instead, they reduced the sentence to 20 years of hard labour in Peterhead prison. He served half the sentence in Peterhead prison, which was 10 years, Oscar Slater, for the crime of this woman marrying Gilchrist, for which she did not commit, until Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stepped in, who wrote Sherlock Holmes. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle put up £1,000 to have Oscar Slater removed from Peterhead prison. He's seen it as an honour that this innocent man released from jail. That's what called a gentleman. On the right here, Arlington Pub on your right. The staff of the Arlington Pub, believe it or not, here on Woodland Road, the 6th and 20th Legion of the Roman Empire, with children's Roman sandals and Roman coins to preview inside, dating from 142 AD. On the left here, the Pierce Lodge Gatehouse, paid to be rebuilt here brick by William Pierce. And on your left above, Glasgow University, built in 1870, designed by Sir George Gilbert Scott in his Gothic four-step style of architecture. Sir George Gilbert Scott also designed St Pancras Station in London, up to the right the Hunt area, and Macintosh House. Some visitors for this one, Colin? On behalf of Donna and your driver, have a great time. Anyone for 15? Yes. Yeah, we've got visitors coming down. So we've got visitors for this one.
19.
Common stopping, that's you. Time it well. Should be every 30 minutes, but keep checking the timetables and come back here again. You're welcome. A couple coming down, Colin.
वो तो ग्लासगो उतर लो, ग्रीन कैफे चल लो.
Tilting to the right due to subsidence when they were building the motorway here many years ago. And straight ahead, built in 1891, the Charing Cross mansions ahead of us, with the French mansard sloping roof, and to your left above, the different symbols of the zodiac in gold upon the clock. Look upwards, the great Victorian architecture. Always look up. This is number 18, the tenement house you pay a fee to enter, unless you've got the National Scottish Trust card. No one for 18? Look up on the left, built in 1938, the Art Deco building here, the Beresford, now apartments today. In the 1930s, John F. Kennedy made